In a world saturated with simplistic management advice, Taylor Sharrat's work stands apart by rooting the art of influence in the fundamental wiring of the human brain. This exploration moves beyond catchy mantras to examine the core cognitive and emotional mechanisms that govern how we all think, feel, and decide. The central revelation is that effective influence does not come from fighting against these ingrained patterns, but from understanding and working with them. Our minds are not blank slates or perfectly rational machines, they are complex organs with ancient programming that often resists direct confrontation. By exploring this landscape, we uncover practical, scientifically grounded methods for encouraging change, fostering cooperation, and motivating others in both professional and personal spheres. One of the most profound obstacles to change is our brain's inherent rigidity. Once we form a belief or choose a course of action, we become remarkably resistant to information that contradicts our position. This isn't merely stubbornness, neuroscience shows it is a biological defense mechanism. When faced with evidence that we are wrong, activity in key brain regions can actually decrease, as if the mind is trying to shield itself from the discomfort of error. This explains why traders might ignore clear warning signs about a failing investment or why well-intentioned arguments often backfire. The key insight is that directly attacking a firmly held belief usually only strengthens the holder's resolve, activating this neural defense system. This principle is powerfully illustrated in the persistent myth linking childhood vaccines to autism. Despite the original study being thoroughly debunked, the fear it planted remains for some. Research reveals that bombarding people with facts disproving the myth can be counterproductive, leading to defensiveness and even stronger adherence to the false belief. A more effective approach is to sidestep the confrontation entirely. Instead of arguing against the misconception, focus on amplifying the positive, factual message you want to convey, in this case, the vaccine's vital role in preventing dangerous diseases. By presenting new, compelling information that aligns with the deeper value of protecting children, you allow people a graceful path to updating their views without feeling attacked or foolish. Our interconnectedness extends beyond ideas into the very realm of emotion. Our brains are designed to sync with those around us, making moods remarkably contagious. A single disgruntled team member can, through subtle cues, spread negativity that hampers collaboration and results. Conversely, genuine positivity can uplift an entire group's performance. This emotional transmission isn't limited to physical rooms, it thrives in digital spaces. Social media platforms demonstrate how exposure to positive or negative content directly influences the tone of a user's own posts and, by extension, their emotional state. Recognizing this powerful social circuitry underscores a leader's responsibility to cultivate an environment and communicate in a way that fosters the emotional climate they desire, knowing it will ripple outward. At our core, humans and animals alike are wired to move toward reward and away from threat. This primal drive for pleasure and avoidance of pain is not something we can simply unlearn. Attempts to motivate through threats of punishment or negative consequences often trigger a sluggish, avoidant state in the brain. In contrast, the possibility of a reward lights up our neural pathways, leading to sharper focus and more agile responses. The practical application is clear: influence is more effectively exerted through the carrot than the stick. Framing tasks around potential gains, positive outcomes, and intrinsic rewards taps into this deep-seated motivational engine, encouraging engagement and effort where warnings of failure might induce paralysis. Closely linked to this reward-seeking drive is a profound need for autonomy. The desire to feel in control of our environment and choices is a powerful source of well-being. Studies show that when people, even in highly structured settings like nursing homes, are given meaningful choices and responsibilities, their happiness, activity, and health improve significantly. This need for agency explains why micromanagement is so demoralizing. It strips away this fundamental source of satisfaction. Effective influence, therefore, involves creating conditions where people feel they are making their own choices. By offering options, soliciting input, and delegating ownership, you align with this instinct. When people believe an idea or change is their own, their commitment to it becomes deeply personal and self-sustaining. This sense of ownership is further amplified by the IKEA effect, the cognitive bias that leads us to overvalue things we have helped create, even if our contribution was small. The act of laboring over something, whether it's assembling furniture or contributing to a project plan, imbues it with subjective worth far beyond its objective quality. Wise leaders can harness this by involving team members in the construction of plans and solutions. The final product is not only improved by diverse input, but each contributor develops a personal stake in its success, transforming a directive from above into a shared mission built from the ground up. Finally, to capture attention in an overwhelming world, one must understand a crucial mismatch. We often assume others are primarily driven by the importance of information, but in reality, they are drawn to what is engaging. The brain prioritizes stimuli that are novel, emotionally resonant, or tell a compelling story. Dry data and abstract importance frequently fail to penetrate the noise. Therefore, wrapping crucial messages in narratives, connecting facts to human experiences, and presenting ideas in an accessible and interesting manner is not mere decoration, it is a necessity for making your influence felt. It is about bridging the gap between what you know matters and what the human brain is actually built to notice and remember. Ultimately, influencing others is less about imposing your will and more about strategically navigating the landscape of the human mind. It requires humility to acknowledge the deep-seated instincts that guide us all, our resistance to being wrong, our emotional synchrony, our hunger for reward and control, and our attraction to engagement. By aligning your efforts with these timeless principles, you can guide people toward better decisions, foster healthier environments, and inspire positive change, all through a process that feels less like manipulation and more like shared discovery.